Yeah, we have some great news basically to share with the world actually, because we're sort of moving our packaging in a complete new direction. Well, it's not a complete new direction, but because actually we're adding some of different angles to it. Now, for us, packaging, of course, is very important in our overall concept. And, from sort of about 3 to 5 years back, we started to develop a roadmap. And the first step in that roadmap was to move away completely from fossil fuels as a basis for our plastics, for our packaging. We've launched for that sort of the initiative on Plantastic. That was in 2011. And since then we've actually used only bio-based material for our plastics, and we're using actually 100% of our plastic from the material. So in that context, we were already quite unique. Now that was step one. Of course, there's more steps that you need to do to really become and get to a sort of sustainable and recyclable solution. So we've now announced 2 more steps that we're going through. Step 1, which we'll be introducing this year, is we're introducing now PCR, post-consumer recycled material, into our Plantastic material. So we're therefore combining sort of the best of both worlds, meaning that from a bio-based basis, we're now also going to introduce the circular economy perspective into our packaging, and we believe that today that probably offers the strongest proposition. We also want to go a step further, and therefore we've also announced our step 3, which is going to happen early next year. And that's really sort of creating awareness about another issue, another problem that the world is facing, which is the plastic soup in our seas and in our oceans. And that's something that we really have to do something against. I mean, it's already affecting a lot of the sea life, the birds and the fish, but it's also starting to actually end in the food chain. And the issue itself is so massive, so important that we really have to sort of create some awareness around it. So what we're going to do is basically remove plastic from the oceans, from the seas, and use that in our sort of packaging, which then combines PCR, plant-based material, and plastic waste from the sea. So that's an incredible unique. It's a world's first, and we're incredibly proud to do that. Simply because we wanted to raise awareness of these problems.
And how will you go about sourcing that plastic from the plastic soup in the sea, as you call it?
Yeah, I mean that's a big challenge, of course, and it's something that we've been working on with our friends from Waste Free Oceans. We've really got our heads together and started to think how can we do that. So there's going to be 2 ways that we're going to work. One, yes, we're going to send out sort of a dedicated ship to really fish for the plastic and for the material itself, just to give us enough base supply of plastic that we want to use. Next to that, we actually want to also introduce a scheme whereby fishermen actually are being rewarded, are being incentivized to deliver the plastic that they catch out of the sea into certain distribution points, certain collection points, and from that it will then be distributed to the recycling company that we're working with. So we really want to create sort of another revenue stream or incentivized scheme for fishermen to really bring all the plastic that they caught in their fishing nets and bring that to these collection points so that we can pick it up from there. I mean, funny enough, we've been really affected by the recession, mostly in the early years, 2008 to 2010, and that was a big hit for us. At the same time, if you look at last year, what I said, 20% growth, whereas the recession was still going. I don't know whether we were in the 3rd or the 2nd or the 4th, but the recession was there, and we're still, been able to achieve a significant growth, and that in a market, which is at best flat. Most markets actually going down. So we've been really outperforming the market, meaning we've really brought in new consumers. So the appetite is absolutely there. There's always, a balance about sort of what premium people will be able to pay or are willing to pay for our products. And that's something that we closely watch and closely monitor, and something that we always try to, keep it at the minimum level. Because ultimately we want to deliver products which are sort of as good as A brands, and I think we've achieved that. I'm pretty sure we've achieved that. We want to deliver products that also have a minimal impact on the environment. There is an additional cost to it, but if you look at it from a broader perspective, I mean, if you look at sort of the future cost of all these petrochemicals that need to be cleaned, then ultimately it's probably a justifiable premium for the moment. But we always want to keep it at a minimum as possible, of course, really to make sure that our products are accessible to as many people as possible.